Hey everybody, Eric Lammers. We're here with another edition of KOTV Teacher Edition, and I'm here with Ms. Gayle Gregory. And you want to tell us a little about what you do here at Klein Oak?
Yeah, I teach science. This year I'm teaching AP Environmental Science as well as dual credit biology, and I also am the assistant sub-coach here at Klein Oak.
All right, fantastic. How long have you been here at Oak?
This is my 5th year.
All right, okay, good deal. Well, actually this occurred before the break, but I was in the hallway. It seemed like you guys were doing something very interesting, and I was hoping maybe you could tell us a little about it. So why don't we start and let's check out a clip, and then you can tell us what's going on.
Okay.
All right, so we'll play a clip first. Oh, no.
Go for variety of food. Go for variety of food.
Over there, that's ours.
Are you like different? Get the ball out of the net. Everyone. You're out.
I didn't start.
Now you gotta be in the net.
Okay, so what was going on there?
So this was a lab where the students you see, some are running around with, you can't really see, they were clear forks. And the forks either had all the tines or I'd broken off some tines, or they were missing all of them altogether. And those were the owl parents. And then you see students standing in hula hoops, and those are the baby owlets. So the parents are trying to run around and collect food within a limited amount of time, while I'm also setting like extra constraints throughout it. So they're trying to collect food and feed their owlets that have recently hatched.
Okay, so what would be the ultimate purpose? What are the kids trying to learn by being the owls or the owlets?
So if you were to take a closer look at the forks, they have separate, like I said, the different talons. They're stimulating adaptations. So some owls are going to have all the tines and be able to get food better, and some of them are going to be missing some of the tines. So like they're missing parts of their talons that they hunt with, and they're not going to be able to collect food well. So it's going to, all that, if the parents can collect food, then their owlets are either going to survive or not survive. So.
Okay. Well, I noticed, I want to take a look at another clip here in a second, but afterwards I want you to talk about some of the things you were saying to the kids, because it seemed like things got difficult as the lab went on, and so let's take a look at this clip here, and then we'll see what was going on.
I haven't told you. Hey, Vincent. No, you're out. Hey, Sparkle, let me just kick her out. You're not kick me out. Gotta hold on your food squad. Gotta hold on your food.
Okay, so tell me about some of those things you were directing the kids with, or some of those challenges you were throwing at them.
Yeah, so if you look at some of the food, like there's different colors. I used packing peanuts. They were much larger, they were easier to grab, and then there was small beans, there was popcorn kernels. So the different types of food, like the big packing peanuts, actually represented mice that had been poisoned, and the kids didn't know that. So after, when we got back in the room after the activity, they counted how many of each they had, and if they had a certain number of the beans, they survived. If they didn't have a certain number, they starved. If they had too many of the packing peanuts, they were poisoned and they died, because we had talked about biomagnification and bioaccumulation with toxins. So kind of there was things that they knew right away with the talons. They knew, man, it's going to be difficult for me to collect food, or I'm going to have an easy time of it. And then we get back to the room and I say, hey, you collected these, you're poisoned. Or I even threw snakes in the food boxes.
I noticed that too.
Yeah, the snakes, once a snake was there, they couldn't hunt out of that box. So they had to go further away from their nest to collect food, which made it more difficult. They had less time to get back to their owlets. So there was kind of thinking about biotic and abiotic factors, living and non-living factors within the environment that were also controlling how much food they could get.
So, I mean, there's a lot, I guess,
yes,
there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of the kids have to do a lot of thinking, and clearly, with what we've seen, nature can be rough. And speaking of that, I want you to tell me about this clip.
Ethan, I'm hungry.
Give me that bean.
Number L1, this is a competition. Shove them out of the nest. I don't know. Survival of the fittest.
That's like an 8.
Jillian, are you out?
her, Julian. Push her.
She fell out too.
Aisha's the only one who remains.
So tell me about that.
So owlets aren't all hatched at the same time. So they'll be born over several days. And so you'll have an older owlet and then you'll have younger ones. Well, if you look at the kids, they're actually standing in different positions. Some are standing upright, some are kind of squatting, some are kind of kneeling on the ground, and some are even sitting. And so that represents the pecking order in which they were born. So the ones that are standing, they're the oldest owl, and they're the strongest. And when they are hunting, they're gonna, when the parents are hunting, they have their hands out, and they're gonna collect the food before the other owlets. So they were allowed to be aggressive. They could shove, they could nudge each other, they could try to push their siblings out of the nest, because in reality, you can't feed two owl parents, or one owl parent can't feed all the owlets. So it's kind of like survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
So that's where you see sixth period was kind of being a little timid with the pecking order. So I was saying, hey, if you're that first owlet, shove them, give them a little push. And Jillian took that to heart and shoved poor Mackenzie out of the nest. So
I think about my brother and I as kids, and there was probably some pushing and shoving over some of the foods that we needed.
Yes.
But so tell me about in the grand scheme of this unit, how did this lab fit in?
Several things. We had just finished 2 units prior, ecology units, so I reviewed a lot of terrestrial ecology concepts we had been over. This unit we were doing the evolution of biodiversity. So it kind of looked at 2 aspects. We were looking at species as well as genetic diversity between individuals in a species. So we're kind of looking at adaptations as well, seeing, how do we get a variety of species within an ecosystem? How is it that some individuals are more adapted and suited to their environment with the adaptations, and it enables them to survive and reproduce.
Very nice. And did you feel like the kids got a lot out of the lab?
Yeah, they did. Especially, I like the parts when, they've done the activity and then they realize, oh wait, she's always going to throw something in that trips us up. And so the poisoned packing peanuts and then the snakes, it just kind of gives it a twist when they think they know, they figured out the activity, but they quite haven't.
Yeah. Well, it was good. The kids certainly seemed like they were enjoying themselves. They were smiling. They were the parents that were having to run back and forth were
they were getting
moving.
their exercise.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm always trying to try different things like that. This one ended up working really well. It was actually a variation of a lab that I had gotten from my mom.
Oh, okay. Super. That's right. So, well, thanks so much for coming on, and appreciate you sharing your idea with the staff. And so, hopefully, we'll maybe get some people adapting similar ideas, and we'll get them on KOTV as well.
Always trying to do crazy activities.
So,
like that.
well, I think that's what the kids enjoy.
Yes.
So, thank you so much, and see you guys later.